What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Strong Family Money Show. My name's Andres. Thanks for coming back. This vlog, we talk about your fitness, your fatherhood, and your finances to make you a stronger person, and then you'll be a stronger dad for your kids and a better partner for your wife. So today's topic. I'm a real estate agent. I got into real estate because I know how important it is to one, own a home. Two, I know how important it is so the real reason I got into real estate was so that I can have an inside track or be in the business or the game, because my wife and I want to start investing in real estate. So we have our own house, but we want to invest. And I have been we've been knocking around the idea of investing. So I just got, looking up a bunch of stuff, learning a bunch of things. And so I just decided to pull the trigger and, get my license, right? So that's something that I'm interested in. So anyway, these are the reasons that, these are the reasons why you should invest in real estate. I mean, it's a great investment. Everyone's always going to need a place to stay, so using that to generate income for your family, it's a good investment. So there are four on my notes here. There are four reasons, the four tenets, the four commandments of real estate investing. The first one is, obviously, this is without saying, you should find a great deal, right? Talk to your local real estate agent. Look in the area that is good for real estate investing. But number one is cash flow. So after you pay on the rental property, after you pay so I'm gonna make another webinar on real estate investing and how to identify properties. So it'll go along with this video. But number one is cash flow. So after you pay for mortgage on the house and insurance and expenses, put away money for improvements on the property if needed for a later date. All the money that's left over is then called cash flow. So that is the money that you at the end of the day, you put into your pocket. Now, depending on how you want to handle that cash flow, it can be considered income for you to increase your income, or it could be you use that money then to put aside to get your next pot of money to invest in the next property. I would suggest the latter. It may be difficult for some people to do that just because you have money burning a hole in your pocket, but that's probably the best strategy. Real estate really is a long game. So you want to, after you get one, you want to see what you can do to get the next one. So cash flow, number one, you want to have it. There are lots of numbers out there that people quote, whatever you feel comfortable with, and it really is the totality of all these things that make an investment property a good choice. Some people, in certain circumstances, in some markets, forgo cash flow for the other three reasons, but you should never say, I don't want to get any money out of this place, because of the other ones you want to try. If you can't, if the market in the area is good, you can get others in the area, and by having all these things work in your favor, if not having cash flow is a good decision for your portfolio, then that's what you do. But cash flow is number one, right? Loan pay down. So when you have an investment property, you are not the one making the payments on the property, so someone else is paying your mortgage for you. So obviously you want to keep that place occupied, right? You don't want to have it vacant for any extended period of time, because that means for any time that it is vacant, then you are paying the mortgage. If you're putting any money into the mortgage payment, then there are a few things. One, maybe it wasn't the right property to purchase in the first place, but for the most part, not for the most part, in all cases, your tenant should be paying your mortgage for you. And as you know, going towards you should get a good deal so that there's a big margin, so you can then have money left over for expenses and insurance and all that stuff, and also put money in your pocket for cash flow. So keep in mind that when you purchase an investment property, you want the deal to be good enough so that there's a big enough margin so that you not only are having someone else pay off your mortgage, but you also get the other benefits. Tax benefits. There are a lot of write-offs when you have, some people say this, depending on what your philosophy is, some people say this is not a good reason, but for a personal investment portfolio for real estate, there are a lot of tax write-offs that you can, depreciation and expenses and all that stuff you can write off. Talk to your tax professional. I am not one, but I do know that tax benefits are a major reason why people do make money off of real estate investments. And the bottom line on your taxes, as we all know, is the most important. And appreciation. So over time, barring any unique circumstances, houses do go up in value. It's not like when you buy a car and the whole time you have the car, the value is going down. Real estate is the opposite, and that's why it's a large majority of the millionaires in America, or around the world actually, made their money in real estate, right? Because it is something that you can identify for a relatively inexpensive compared to what it can become inexpensive price. Someone else pays your mortgage, you get cash flow, you get tax benefits, and then over time it appreciates. And the end game for real estate is that appreciation, so that at the end, when you are ready to cash in on it, it has increased in value because of the appreciation. And when you decide to sell it off or do whatever to it to get your return on investment, that appreciation is what's going to put the money in your bank account, so you can do whatever you plan to do. So you should have a plan at the beginning. Right? I'm investing in real estate because that is your plan, that is your goal, and then everything you do is to work towards that goal. So those are the four big tenets for investing in real estate. That's the reason everyone does it. It is great to say I have a couple of extra bucks in my pocket, but all four together is why people do it. So we may not have big cash of money just to throw into real estate deals and buy up multiple real estate properties in one transaction. So there are multiple ways for you to invest in real estate. Some are just traditional real estate investing, and others can be used to increase your war chest when you then go and decide to pull the trigger. So first, obviously you can invest in single family homes. In my neighborhood, on my street, within 2 or 3 streets around it, the same guy owns 2 or 3 houses. He lives out of state. His brother takes care of him for him. So single family homes, you do have to have quite a few for it to really be cost effective. And there's a whole philosophy and big long game strategy for this, right? You want to have enough where you can, the best case scenario is you have enough so that you can have a management property take care of them for you, and then you're completely hands off. Or if that's your thing and you want to have a lot of them, and you then yourself are the property manager of them, you go around, collect the money, you go around and say, all right, guy, go fix this toilet. In the beginning, you are going to be the toilet fixing guy. That's just the way it is. But single family homes is probably the way that most people start off in investing. A tangent of that is, duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, right? Multifamily properties, not necessarily apartments. Anything with 4 units or under is like a residential property. So properties that have 2 to 4 units on them is a really good. There's another way to invest that takes that a step further. But you basically buy one home and you have 3 doors on it, and one when you do it that way, technically one door should take care of all of your expenses, and then the other doors are the cash flowing properties, right? So multifamily homes, right? They are not as pricey per door as a single family home, because usually they're like 1 or 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and it fits on a lot size not that much bigger than a single family home. I've seen some that are multifamily homes that are multiple multifamily homes on one lot. Those are pretty big and have a corresponding price tag, but the same philosophy applies, right? You want to get one where the least amount of doors pay for the most amount of your things. There are turnkey properties for people who don't want to do any work. There are companies out there that they go out and do all the legwork. They find the properties. In this case, your margin is, they'll actually manage them for you also, but your margin is pretty slim, if any. But it's totally hands off, and you don't have to lift a finger to do it, right? And then at the end of the day, you still get the tax benefits and the loan pay down and the appreciation, but the cash flow is used for the company setting it all up for you, acquiring the property and taking care of it. If you have no time or have no interest in doing anything other than at the end of the day, when I say on this day I'm going to retire, I'm going to sell all my homes, turnkey properties is probably, and you don't care about the cash flow getting money in your pocket. You really are in it for the long game, and you totally don't want to lift a wrench at all, and turnkey might be something you can look into. Going back to the multifamily homes, house hacking is a term that is pretty popular nowadays. So you find it can be done single family, but most of the time it's a multifamily home. The other way is, I think it's called live and flip, but whatever. So house hacking, you buy a multifamily home, duplex to fourplex. So it kills 2 birds with 1 stone, actually, and it's probably if you're young, this is probably the way to go. So you buy a duplex, we'll start easy, duplex, right? You fix it up because it's your home, you're gonna do that anyway. You live in one of the units, right? You live in one of the units, and the other unit is used to pay the rent and to any remaining cash flow after expenses. So it takes care of your expense of having to pay mortgage or rent on someplace else. So that kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. And then that in turn allows you to save money, so then you can then go either buy the next. People do this multiple times, right? So you go in the duplex, I live in one, the next one is making money for me, I'm saving more money, then I can go do it again, right? I then put someone in, and usually this is done because you have to fix the property and you're there fixing the property up. So then I move someone in to the one that I was living in. I then go live in the new place in one of the units in a new multifamily home that requires work. I fix it up. I put someone in the other house, in the other unit. They're paying my rent. The other one's already has 2 occupants. So you just keep building from there, right? So it's called house hacking because you're living in it and you're getting your real estate business started at the same time. A lot of people, this is kind of a touchy one, but a lot of people do, and there are communities. My wife and I were looking around. We found a community in Florida where it is all, and this goes back. This isn't necessarily like a turnkey, but it's all Airbnb community. There's a property manager on site that takes care of it because it's an area by like the beach and people go vacation there. It is an Airbnb, right? So you can go visit it whenever you want, right? Because it's yours. You make sure you have someone in there for certain times of the year that takes care of your mortgage, and yeah, that's again, it goes back to the turnkey, but you can potentially make more money if you do it right with Airbnb because of the rate per night if you're in the right area. So even if you don't rent it out 365 days a year, you can still make a pretty good profit on doing something like that. Like some places frown upon it, especially if it's like in a regular neighborhood. Some places frown upon that, just the city in general. But if you're like in, Vegas by the Strip, right? You have a nice house by the Strip away from all the noise where people can go and vacation and do whatever they want. I've heard of people making pretty good money only renting it out on the weekends for a small period of time, and then they can also just go use it whenever they want, when they want to go to vacation, wherever that is. So, there are investment trusts on the stock market you can invest in. That is, so turnkey is like you don't want to lift a wrench and you want to get all the tax benefits. The REITs is just it's like anything you invest in the stock market, right? You're gonna, if it appreciates over time, if the trust appreciates over time, and then you then sell your interest in the trust, then you make money if it has increased, right? So it's basically someone is managing a portfolio of properties and using the cash flow to pay out the people who own interest in it when they sell their portion of the trust. Or if you want to make money quickly, so all these other things take time. If you want to make money, relatively quickly, you can, and if you have the money for it, you can become a hard money lender. So there are people. So sometimes real estate investors need money quickly to take care of down payment. To start fixing up the property. For whatever reason, they need money fast, or they have no money at all to start investing. So there are companies or individuals who then use their personal money to lend out to these people for 1, 2, 3 year, depending on whatever. It's shorter if they need it that way, right? To get their deal done, they in turn pay the person back with some sort of interest. That's usually because it is, if it's done right, it's a pretty good return on the person who is lending the money out to invest. This is really only if you have money. It's pretty risky. You then have interest in the home. You can say, well, you're not paying me back my money, so I'm going to go and take the home over because I'm the guy. Or you have some leeway to get your money back, but it's pretty risky. But the returns are high over a shorter period of time. So if you're inclined to do that, then it's basically just you're lending out money and it's coming back with a return. That most people do it based on some level of return, right? Most of the time, I've heard like 12% or 10% return on the money. Whatever you can get out of the investor is what you can get. So there are different ways to invest in real estate. They're all different depending on what level of effort you want to put into it. Obviously, usually as most things, whatever takes the most effort is usually the best thing that will get you the most money, most return over the longer period of time. In this case, so if you have any other questions, you want anything explained more, you can go ahead and message me. But the big reason why I got into real estate was because of this. Because one, you need, unless you want to go to a hard money lender, you need to save or find a way to get more money into your pocket, so you can then have down payment and money to fix up the property. But definitely one of the best ways to plan for your retirement. And if you never know, you may get, and luck is turned in terms of finding the right property to buy. You may get lucky and you amass a portfolio where that's all you do now is just manage your properties and find other ones. And but anyway, it is not as far out of reach as most people think. It's pretty much in every man's investment strategy. But anyway, invest in real estate. It's best. It's really good for planning for the future and getting ready for retirement. Message me if you want any more information. Message me if you want information on what I do in real estate. So this is Andres from the Strong Family Money Show. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys next time.